What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Rugal. And after you all saw the pulls that I got, you realized that I was able to take this version of Rugal, God Rugal, to A3. And first of all, guys, I just got to talk about the aesthetics of this character. I think Rugal looks like the spitting image of what he does in King of Fighter 15. He looks great, guys. The snicker on his grin. I mean, he just looks awesome. The background behind him, everything looks amazing about the character. The EX animations coming off of him. That is sick, man. Really, really cool, badass looking character, right? But he is a lot more than just looking badass. He's a pretty insane character. Now, I talked a little bit about, what his kid already had. He's got the 30% PG rate, and he's got the increased damage by 18% on critical hit. And this is where it gets really interesting. And when you first read this thing, you think to yourself, well, this sounds pretty decent, but it's actually much more OP than what you actually think when you do the math and when you actually see it in action. And that is this uninvited one core. This is nuts. So he becomes immune to damage for 2 seconds and recovers 2% HP every 0.1 second for 5 seconds when HP is 1% or less. Okay? So when he gets down to that immunity, right, he is going to start healing 0.1 seconds for every 5 seconds. He will heal 2%. In 10 seconds, he will heal 20%. I'm sorry, in 1 second, he will heal 20% of his life. In 5 seconds, he'll heal 100% of his life. What? It is broken, guys. It is insane. And you'll find whenever you play with this character, we'll do a solo with him today live because I just feel that confident in his survivability that he'll just keep healing up and healing up. And as long as he's off this cooldown, right? I know it's a 30-second cooldown, but just keep in mind, guys, he can fill up completely. He can fill his life up completely from this. This is nuts. In 1 second, he will heal 20% of his life. In 5 seconds, he heals 100%. It's just insane, guys. It's super broken. It's like they took what they gave Jin and they gave it to Rugal and put it on steroids. I mean, they just jacked it up tremendously. And then, of course, he decreases target attack damage by 50% and increased damage received by 18%, which is awesome when he uses Genocide Cutter. He's immune to all these effects, which is really amazing, especially for PvP. There are players that do enjoy playing PvP in the game, and this is definitely a huge bonus for him and really what he should be. He enters Fury state for 7 seconds upon using an active skill, and he deals physical damage equal to 10% of attack to target every time a skill lands. Increases critical damage by 15%, stacks up to 5, which means he gets an increase in critical damage by 75%, which is insane. And when you look at his kit, we won't talk about the EX core, guys, because I only have him at A3, unfortunately, but I do plan on trying to get him to A5. But I might just try to rack up some rubies the natural way through the game. And before this banner ends, maybe just try to make sure I get him to A5 by that point. So I don't have to dump as much money into this, but he is my favorite character. I do want to get this character to A5 before this banner ends. Very much so, guys. But his first skill is insane. So the Desperate Ray is nuts because it gives him an increased attack by 23%. The critical rate by 30% is crazy, along with that critical damage that he gets from his core, right? This is aside from any card set that you would put on him. He's already going to have a huge critical rate, critical damage bump without the awesome card set. But this set actually has a 100% chance to 80% chance to reset. That's a very high chance of resetting for 3.5 seconds, and you can spam the living hell out of this Desperate Ray for 3.5 seconds, and it is broken. He does the same thing that Jin does with his second skill with the beam. He literally puts him in a stun lock to where the opponent really can't do anything as he's spraying the beam at him, and they're just kind of locked stationary. It is wild. Not to mention the amount of damage that you can do. The Genocide Cutter, which actually gives an increased target damage received from his core, also has the hyper armor for 4 seconds, and it is an interrupt skill, so whenever you're standing or whenever you're not in the air, if you have the skill available, you can hit it and go straight into your skills. It also decreases awakened skill cooldown of allies and self by 1 when used. This is actually very useful in a spinning rotation where you're using multiple characters, say, for example, in Guild Raid. This is actually really, really nice. Dropping the cooldown is very helpful. And then you have his charge skill, which is just broken. This thing is broken as hell because it does an insane amount of damage, but it also has insane CC on it. So whenever you just tap the skill, you're going to get fear and stun. So just like I said in the last video, if they don't have stun, they're going to get feared. If they're immune to fear, then they're going to get stunned, right? It's pretty unlikely that you're going to have immunities to both of these forms of CC. That is insane. And it does it to everyone on the screen. It is broken, especially like in PvP. It is broken. Now let's talk about the imprint stones, because I did not use the imprint stones that they gave us. And I'm going to explain why, guys. So the first stone that I use is actually from volume 3. And the reason I use it is because it actually increases active skill damage. All the stones give 20% extra attack. But the middle slot, the increased active skill damage, is really great for overall damage. Now, whenever you look at the stones that have been available, because you can switch around these EX stones, the one for these characters, the Volume 5, decreases defenses by 50% for 5 seconds when Extreme Fire lands an active skill. This is actually, honestly, decreasing defenses by 50% is really, really strong. And maybe this would be better than the active skill damage. I would have to do some testing to really know if that's true or not. But I went with the active skill because I know overall it's just going to be a really insane amount of damage. Although this is really great, I just wish it didn't have a cooldown. That's kind of the thing that I don't like about that skill. And then you take a look at like the other volumes, right? You know, poison damage isn't worth a crap. Burn's not worth a crap for Rugal, right? Bleed and poison isn't very good, right? The decreased defenses obviously is, okay? Now the second stone that I have equipped is actually from the Volume 1 banner for the EX characters, and this also increases active skill damage. Now, whenever you take a look at the other stones that were available, the Shermie one actually would be nutty, because it does increase active skill damage 1 by 20%, which would be the Desperate Ray, which you can do repeatedly over and over and over in your rotation. So this actually might be better than the one that I have equipped, because I do have the Volume 1 with active skill, but the way that I'm going to do my rotation is I'm going to be using all 3 skills. So I felt like the active skill damage would actually be better, but this Shermie one, this other Volume 5, is actually quite nuts. These other ones for Volume 3, Volume 2, they're not really going to be good for Rugal at all, except for the one with the active skill damage. And then the one for Shermie, the other Volume 5, is pretty damn nutty. And then when you get into the third one, this is, I believe, the Volume 1 stone, where it actually will increase critical damage. And I went with this stone here because I felt like it was a better option than increasing target damage received, because I don't think all those increased target damage received stacked on top of each other. And then also, you know, this one here, increased active skill 3. This is actually a really OP one. Like for Rugal and his third skill is charged. Like, I think if I had maybe this one and the one for Shermie equipped, right, that I have equipped on Shermie, increasing my active skill 1 and active skill 3 damage by 20%, that actually probably would be better, especially with your concentration unlocked. But I'm going to have to do some testing as far as that's concerned. And then, of course, you still got active skill 1. So, I mean, you can really jump up your active skill 1 damage big time. And I don't have these other 2 stones because I want to get those double attack stones from the crafting event. Now, as far as card sets, guys, I am going to be running the insane Rugal set, which is the Invitation from Hell set, which is a fitting name for it, right? We're going to get the critical rate by 7%. We're going to get the critical damage by 70%. We're going to get the increased damage based on the amount of PG bars that we're going to have. It's just an OP set. We're also going to be using this option card on him, where it increases his physical damage by 60% for 7 seconds upon using an active skill, and this only works on Omega, and then it gives also the increased attack. I also have a Transcendent card on that does increase his critical damage by 7.5%. And when you look at this guy's stats, guys, I mean, look at this. His critical damage is sitting at 265%. His critical rate is at 19. Remember, he gets 30% critical rate from his skill. This is going to go up to almost 50%, which is going to increase his chances of doing critical hits a lot. And then his critical damage, he also has 75% critical damage buff from his core. So when that stacks up to 5, you can add 75% to this, and you will see what, 330%, 340% in critical damage. So he hits like an absolute truck. Now, I haven't leveled up his cores at all. I haven't leveled up any of these at all. I kind of wanted to do a run without all of these on. But if I did put them on, we definitely would do more damage. Obviously, guys, we're going to go for CP. Always go for these right here. But if you're trying to go for damage, I mean, the first and third skill are the ones that I would definitely buff up the most. I would max these 2 out. And then this would be the last one that I would level up. And then concentration is really what you're going to go with at A5. For sure, guys. For sure. Now, let me show you just how insane this character is, because he's broken, guys. Like, this core that he has is nuts. Now, I'm going to be using Nightmare Geese as a striker, mainly because my Nightmare Geese is leveled up. But there are other available strikers that are actually really, really good. Dual Lawn here gives, increased attack by 10%. And also will give Rugal, because he's a Temple Mystery Fighter, an extra critical rate by 6%. That's really good. The decreased skill cooldown is really good, but my Dual Lawn's only a 1. So the more CP that you have as a striker, the more damage that your actual damage dealer can do. So I just want to make sure that I have a decrease in skill cooldown. I actually could throw in, a Orochi here, but he doesn't decrease skill cooldown by 1 second. So I'm going to go ahead and put in Geese. If you use Rugal, he also doesn't decrease damage received by 1 second. But if you do use Rugal, didn't mean click on that, you will get an insane heal when killing an enemy and when using an ultimate move. And this is on top of the heal that this character already has. So like for say something like Demo Space, like this is going to be a crazy striker for Demo Space. Right, but we're going to go with Geese because we want that decreased skill cooldown, increased active skill damage. We're just going to go with him, right? And this is going to be a complete solo, guys. Complete solo, on the fly, A3, 3 stones. Let's see what he can do. All right, so we're going to do that again, guys, because I actually jumped the gun and I started using 0, applying my dot. We want to do a complete solo with Rugal. Honestly, guys, I'm so excited to do this today and play with my boy because he is just insane. He really is nuts. I mean, this crap is crazy, right? That is crazy, resetting that first skill over and over and over. It's just nuts, right? I mean, it's just crazy. Oh, man, his default. Oh, man, I thought I was gonna... Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on, man. Oh, my God. Let's go. Whew. Oh, I was hoping that first skill was going to reset. Be like, yo. No, we didn't get none of that, unfortunately. Oh, man. This is... Oh, crap. And you literally, like, seriously, guys, like, whenever he gets down to that low HP threshold and that immunity kicks in, you just watch his life. He just heals completely up. It is broken. I mean, and if you use that first skill, right, over and over, like, he just plows. Oh, I was hoping that first skill was going to reset. Damn. I mean, he's so fast-paced to play with. Like, just like his skills, they just run together so well. And I haven't even showed, like, I mean, look at this. Look at this. I mean, it's just, when you hit that first skill, that's what you want to use. Just, ooh, heal, and just start melting that damn meter, man. That thing is insane. And look at that heal, right? It just plows, man. This is insane, guys. It really is nuts how strong this character is. Woof. Whoops. Kind of messed up there. Get him. I was hoping that first skill was going to reset, man. You always pray for the beam to reset. Oh, my God. Because it's just so fun spamming the hell out of that thing. And here's where we start racking up the big dog damage, guys. I mean, 4.6 billion right now. 4.6 billion. It's just like this is 100% solo without any of the right dots. Kind of messed up a little bit there, but that's all right. That's all right. I will never get tired of watching this 3PG. I will never, like, the voice acting, man. The voice acting is just... Oh, crap. Almost 5 billion solo, right? Almost 5 billion. Never had to worry about dying. Never had to worry about anything, right? Because he just heals up, right? When that immunity core kicks in, he just heals up 100%. And because of the long 3PG, because of the fact that he has really good survivability, other than that heal, the dude he just does insane. He does really, really well, right? And if we take him into championship, right? And you can take a look at his skills and kind of see how good he would be like for PvP, right? This is where it gets really wild for him. Well, honestly, it gets wild for the character no matter where he's at in the game. But we're all the way back away, and then you got the first skill that just has insane range. That thing will hit everywhere in the screen. That is crazy, guys, right? And then whenever you hit the second skill, look at how fast that is. Look at, like, he is way the hell over here, right? He's way over here. Look, push this guy over here. Get over here, buddy. Like, when you get all the way away from him, right? Boom. Look at how fast that is. That is nutty. And here's the crazy thing, right? So some people, when they look at his third skill, they'll be like, oh, it's kind of slow when he does the blast. Yeah. But look what happens when he does do it, right? Oh, is that a stun and a fear I see? So while, like, normally in my original video, when I first saw this character, I thought that, you know, his third skill would be a bait skill, but actually it's not. It's a trap skill, because whenever he hits it, he's going to CC you with either stun or fear, and then he can go straight into these cores. He could reset his first skill and just go, and just destroy you. Not to mention that heal will kick in if you actually do take him down. Like, the dude is set up insanely well. Like I said, they took a lot of things from Devil Jin, and they actually just improved upon them for Rugal. They made this character just broken, okay? Broken. And let me show you guys what he does. Like, just one rotation in Dungeon of Trials here. Okay. And I'm just going to spam that first skill like crazy, guys. Yeah. And as you guys can see, oh boy is freaking insane. Right? 600 million. 600 million, right? In one rotation. That's at A3 with 3 stones. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. Right? And that first skill is just like, all of the skills are insane. By the way, you know what? I should have showed you guys this. I've actually jumped the gun. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I want to go back into the championship because I want to show you guys something that's really awesome. And something that gets overlooked on a lot of characters, right? That I even overlook on a lot of characters. But Rugal, man, they went pretty wild on this character. So look at his basics. Look at his basics. Right? He literally throws up a reflect barrier. This is normally in his skills. Then he does a Repuken, right? And then he does the beam afterwards. Like, OTG, and then the last skill is going to hit up top. And he's going to knock him up in the air with Repuken. Like, his basics, you tap it once, you get the shield barrier. You tap it twice, I'm sorry, 3 times, you'll get the Repukin. And then you get the I-Beam after that if you do it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, maybe 5 times. But look at this. I mean, it's nice, guys. His basics are insane. It's like it's what they usually put on skills, right? And I just wanted to make sure I touched on that because, man, they are gorgeous. And they are also very, very useful in PvP, guys. Like really insane basic attacks that this character has on top of the skills, the animations, the speeds, the long range attacks, the speed of his attacks, the damage, the survivability, especially with his heal and his core. Like Rugal is insane, guys. I mean, I would say, and I'm not saying this because he's my favorite character, I would say he's probably the best character in the game. He probably is the best character in the game right now. So, guys, I could go on and on about Rugal, man. He's just an insane character. He has an insane kit. He has insane survivability, insane damage. He's really just the all around monster that he should be. Kofus did a really good job. Shout out to Nat Marble for the job that they did on him aesthetically, animation wise, his basic attacks, everything that they did for the character. In my opinion, as a Rugal fan, I'm just like, it's the chef's kiss, guys. So, guys, let me know what you think about God Rugal. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See you, everybody.